strongly feel like she's had one of the biggest impacts, other than Lil Kim and Foxy Brown and Missy Elliott, have had a huge impact on pop, on hip-hop, and the culture in general. So I think she's one of the most underrated, and oftentimes Sagittarius will be underrated because they'll like do something really bad and do tons of things that are good. People will focus on the bad. So Six of Cups is her time to grow, mature, and to not. Hi everyone, welcome to this fun reading. So every week I drop a few readings spontaneously that are based on hot topics that are going around. And today I'm going to be focusing on Nicki Minaj and her husband. We're going to cover some of the lawsuit aspect of it, but I want to focus on the relationship, and I don't want to get too caught up in the drama. I mean, they seem pretty dramatic. He's an Aries, she's a Sagittarius, so they're prone to drama. But we'll get into it. Like I always say, this is intuitive based, it's not fact based, so please don't treat it as such. And I look forward, thank you so much for having you all. I look forward to doing this reading. Okie dokie, so I pick up very strongly. I pulled up the past, the present, and the future. And I pick up very strongly with 9 of Swords, 5 of Wands, and 7 of Pentacles being in the past. So this gives me the energy that there was definitely this feeling of like, okay, from her end, my life, or maybe both of them, but definitely I can see from her, because this is feminine energy, 9 of Swords. She was in this energy of, I haven't made a lot of my life. And Sagittarius, you know, I say this a lot. I know a lot of Sagittarius. I have dated a Sagittarius, so I can generally say that Sagittarius have this energy of, or a lot of them feel like when they reach a certain time of their lives, they feel like they haven't accomplished anything in their life. They kind of feel like a failure. So that's what 9 of Swords represents to me. And before she got married, I don't know if either of you remember this, but I recall her kind of going on these social media wars with people. And obviously the word war is kind of an exaggeration, but I feel like she felt kind of kicked up by the industry, and this was kind of not the marriage, but her retaliating was her way of saying, you know what, industry, F you. So with 5 of Wands and 7 of Pentacles, I feel like there were a few men around her at that time, but she chose him because she felt like he was more stable, because she wanted to have a child. I think she came to see what a lot of Sagittarius come to see in their lives. And I did a video about Monique and Rachel so what's her name again? Zoe Kravitz. I almost said Rachel. Zoe Kravitz. I don't know why I said Rachel, but Zoe Kravitz. And a lot of Sagittarius, they kind of get duped into this. I feel like that kind of happened with Britney too, but she's another subject. And I mean Britney Spears. I feel like they get duped into kind of the materialistic world, and then when they get in the materialistic world, they're like, hold on a second, I never wanted this. I did this because I wanted to be liked. I did this because I wanted to be accepted. It's not the journey. So they have to kind of like weave their way out of that. And I've seen that in a lot of Sagittarius that I know, and Sagittarius in the public. So she chose him because he is more, she thought he's more stable, and she chose him because she felt like, I believe she felt like she could kind of tell him what to do and he would listen, because her energy is very, I think she has like a rising in Leo. She's definitely has some Leo, I can tell, which is very bossy. She's very bossy, and Sagittarius can be bossy, but not like Leo. She's very adamant about what she wants, and sometimes Leos can be so bossy that they end up wanting to control people, and that's what I see with her. So that's why I think she has Leo in her chart. So the present being 5 Pentacles, 6 of Wands, and 6 of Cups. So with 5 Pentacles, I see kind of like the legal issues that they're going through is isolating her even more from the industry, and I don't think people want to work with her. So, you know, there have been allegations that she was bribing her husband's accuser, because he was accused of rape. He went to, I believe he went to jail for it. He is a registered sex offender. I'm not 100% sure if he went to jail, but he is a registered sex offender, and he was supposed to register in her address as a sex offender, and he didn't, and that's why he is in trouble with the law again. So I believe I just saw that he's suing, which is going to bring Six of Wands a lot of attention to them, a lot of negative press, and it's almost like I feel like and this is another Sagittarius thing, it's, to me, the curse of Sagittarius, they're usually known for like the bad things that they do, and then the good things that they do go unnoticed completely. And I will say this, Nicki Minaj to me is one of, I mean, I don't think Cardi B can hold a candle to how inspirational Nicki Minaj is, how talented Nicki Minaj is. And although I'm not that much of a fan of her recently, because her music has taken more the sex route, and I don't like music that talks about sex. I'm not a prude, I just feel like there's so many other things to talk about, and you know, children are listening too, but that's just how I feel. So I strongly feel like she's had one of the biggest impacts, other than Lil Kim and Foxy Brown and Missy Elliott, have had a huge impact on pop, on hip-hop, and the culture in general. So I think she's one of the most underrated, and oftentimes Sagittarius will be underrated because they'll like do something really bad and do tons of things that are good. People will focus on the bad. So Six of Cups is her time to grow, mature, and to not focus, because this is another thing that Sagittarius tend to do. When people start to focus on the bad that they've done, they feel the need to defend themselves. So take a step back. This is my recommendation to all Sagittarius. Take a step back and just breathe. We don't have to answer to, unless it's a personal attack, like somebody actually personally attacking you. If it's media attacks, there's no point in addressing it, because you address thousands of them, and then they get what they want. They get publicity, they get fame, and you end up lowering who you are by addressing it. So for the future, I see the Magician, Two of Wands, and the Sun. Okay, I strongly believe, and this is what they're working on right now, she wants to clean up her image, and I think that is why she married him initially. I don't think she knew the full extent of the allegations. I think she got like a half story from him, which obviously the two people in a situation most of the time, and we get one half of the story. So I think she kind of blindly believed him, and I wouldn't be surprised if this relationship ends up being over. Now I know that they have a child, and I don't like to leave things on a negative note. There is a way for their relationship to work if he's willing to be honest about his past. And like they say, sun is the best disinfectant. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. I've been saying that a lot lately. I wonder why. It just keeps popping into my head. And the truth is going to really help him. It's kind of like he's running, and this is a very Aries thing. Like I said, he's an Aries, she's a Sagittarius. His past, especially with the Justice card, that I get justice about law, he keeps on like trying to fight and cover when the answer is more simple. So I don't see it going well for him. I see him getting in so much trouble, more and more, that she's going to have to surrender and move on from him. So that's what I see. I wish them the best, and if anybody's going through a situation like this, I wish them the best too. And I hope, you know, we can all, this is why I do these videos, because we can all learn from these situations like this. And I feel like sometimes, especially when we reach around 30, you know, when I turned 30, I was in between two guys, and you probably heard me tell the story. In between two guys, one wanted stability, the other one wanted to kind of play game, not really play games, but he was taking a while to make his decision of stability. And I see something very similar with her, and I think that happens to a lot of women in their 30s, especially under 35, 30 under 35. It's like, we're like, okay, I want to have kids, but one person's playing against me, the other isn't. And we often choose the person who seems like they'd be stable, but they weren't. And that's what happened with me. He seemed like he would be stable, but he was mentally immature. So with Queen of Crystals, Page of Wands, I clarified the Justice card. She's going to move on from this, and I feel like a lot in the next 2 years. It's going to be a lot of drama for her, a lot of drama. And I would encourage her, you know, anybody in Nicki's position, to also come clean, and to also, not to also, but just to be transparent, not necessarily to the media, but to her fans, because a lot of her fans are going to turn on her. And I think she needs to take some time, keep quiet. This is for Sagittarius in general, because I've noticed a trend with Sagittarius. Sometimes you don't have to speak. Sometimes just keeping quiet, thinking about it, taking time to process it, because fire signs in general, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius have difficulty processing things before they act. So I'd highly recommend to her to process. Same thing with him, really, because he's an Aries too. The King of Swords, 5 Swords, and 9 of Wands. To look at her, because I see that she ends up in this cyclical, I wouldn't say abusive, but a cyclical relationship where she finds out things about the person she's with, and it's often too late, because 9 of Wands is about details. It's often too late, and she's often like, I didn't know about this, you know. But instead of being humble and saying, what have I done? Because in every situation we do things, whether it's I don't want to say whether it's on purpose or not, but like, for example, there's always, like with the empath and the narcissist relationship, you know, narcissists are drawn to empaths, and what can empaths do to protect their energies and so forth. So I would strongly recommend therapy to her. I think she might be in therapy though. I must applaud her. She's done a lot of work, personal work, in the last few years or so. Definitely in the last 3 years. She's done a lot of personal work. So I do applaud her for that. But I would encourage her to continue. Anybody in this position, continue to do the work, because there's something that's related to how she grew up that's affecting her relationships and who she chooses to surround herself with. So let's ask for advice, ask the angels for advice for anyone in this situation. Okay, karma. There's nothing from a past life that can't be addressed in the current life. How profound is that? Because that's exactly what I was just saying. So I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you follow me, and please make sure you subscribe if you're on YouTube, and like the video if you liked it. Let me know what you think. What do you think about this Nicki drama? I send her and her family love, and take care.